everybody, Beeflowbard here, and this will be a short tutorial on setting up a simple respawn system. This was made, I came up with this for a side-scroller project, but it'll work for this as well. Um, Very simple steps. What I want to do is go ahead and I want to find my start player or my network player start or wherever my player start location is, and I'm going to go ahead and get my values here. And I can see them plainly right here, but the next thing we want to do is go into our blueprints. Actually, we're going to go into our character and find our player character. We need to create a variable, and this is going to be player respawn, or we'll just call this respawn location. We're going to change that from a boolean over to a vector. And we'll go ahead and select it as instance editable. Not editable, not edible. Okay, so compile and save. We'll close that back out. We're going to come over to our level blueprint, which click on blueprints, open level blueprint. We want event begin play. And from event begin play, we need to come up from there and cast to our player character. In my case, it's cast to player underscore base. And then we need to get player character. Lovely. And then we want to set respawn location. Now, the values that we need for this, and these are the actual values for mine, but if you look right here on your map, on your player start, your location, negative 1400, 0, and 200 is the location of mine. You'd use whatever yours is. Now, what you're doing by doing this is whenever the player initially loads into the map to play, this location right here is now automatically generated as the player's respawn location. So as you're running around the map and something happens, you get killed, then you need to have a location for your player to respawn. So let's quickly go in here and go to my assets. I'm going to create a new folder called gadgets, and I want to create a blueprint actor. Yeah, we're just going to call that kill test. We just need something that can kill the player. Alright, so this can get as complicated as you want. I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible. I'm going to go ahead and set this with a cube. And make the cube the default. And then I'm going to add another component of a box collision. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to rescale the cube, the Z, to 0.1 to make a little flat thing here. And we're going to go ahead and I love how it transforms as a box also. We're going to make this a little bit taller. Oh, back to where it should have been to begin with. And then we'll go ahead and I think 1.5 by 1.5 by 10. So now we just have a little kill feed, something that'll, as soon as the player walks on it, it will kill them. So we'll just come down over to, and I love how it just does that here. On component begin overlap. Click on that, and we don't actually need the rest of these things here. We can get rid of those. So we need to cast to our third person character or player base or however you choose to call yours. And then we want to, we can actually come in here and create a new variable in the player. And we want to add a custom event. Player died. With that, what you're wanting to do is set up a set of variables or things to stop the player from moving and make sure that they're dead. This can get complicated, but I'll try to make it as easy as possible. The first thing you need to do is, if you want to have it fancy and have a widget and so forth, I won't get carried away. We're just going to print text just to get the point across. You are dead. Lovely. And it's good enough. Whenever the player dies, we want to stop the movement. So we can go over here and left click and drag out character movement. From there, we want to drag over to here and deactivate. This will stop the player from moving. Okay. Now, at this point, what happens is when you die, you get a little quick message that says you are dead, and then that's all lovely. It stops the movement. Just to kind of show you how that's going to work, we can now, after we compile and save, we can come back over here and get the reference to that. Call the function. Okay, so player died. And we need to take our gadget. We need to place it into the map somewhere so that we can see it. We know that if we walk over here and we're dead. Now, we didn't even get all the way onto it. So a little small trick that you can do is you can add a delay in. Add a delay. You don't even have to change the default value. The 0.2 should delay the character long enough for them to actually get on it. And it stopped me while I was still even on this little pad here. Now I can't move. There's nothing I can do. I can pan the camera around, but I can't move. So we know that it's working. So from there, we can go back into player base, and what we can do is, for now, we'll add in a delay of 5 seconds. And this looks good if you set it up in a widget. And you could have a countdown timer. You can respawn in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bang, and then you respawn. Well, we need to go ahead and grab our respawn location and get a copy of it. And then we want to set our new location. And then from there, we want to set actor location. There's various ways you can actually get this whole thing to work. But I don't know. We don't want to set the relocation. We'll try it off as set actor location. From there, we can do this. Target should be self. Now, after 5 seconds, it's going to reset our location, and we need to character movement activate. That's so that we can move again. So let's give that a quick test. Running around, bang, you're dead, you can't walk, can't move. So now you have to wait for 5 seconds to go. Then you get teleported back to the start location and you can move again. But what if you want to actually, let's actually go into our kill test. Let's give this a different color. We're going to go to the cube and come up to our materials, and I'm just going to give it whatever material. just so that we can see what it is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create another one, which is an actor. We're going to call this our checkpoint. Okay, and in the checkpoint, essentially we want to have the same basic effect there, but we want to add in the component. And again, I'm just going to add in a cube, and I'm going to add in a box collision. The cube we want to resize, and then the box collision we want to move that up, and we want to do that to 0.1. There we go. And this was 1.5. We'll move that up. And now what this is going to be is our teleport location. So what we're going to do is when we overlap into this box here, again, all we have to do is come down to here. And again, we won't need these other things. We will come from the other actor, cast to our player, and then we will set respawn location. But how are we going to get that location? Well, you don't want to have to go in and every time you place one of these, you don't want to actually get that physical location each time. So what you can do is from this, you can grab the cube, you can get its world location, and now post that there. So what it'll do is now as soon as I place the actual object, the checkpoint in the game, it is going to have its own location, and that information is going to be stored directly in. So now we know that if we come over here and we get on our kill pad, after 5 seconds it's going to teleport us back over to the original point here. But now if I come over here and walk on this point and then walk over the kill feed or the kill pad, it should now teleport me back over to that location. You see, it did, but we're in the ground. So might need to tweak that just a hair. So what I want to do is, since it's putting where the box location is, I can just come back into the checkpoint, and instead of referencing the cube, let's try referencing the box collision. Since it technically is a little bit higher, and let's actually make sure that it is. I'm going to go ahead and put it there. And we can bring the box up so we know that it's going to sit on top of the ground. We'll let it go ahead and be a little bit high there. But as you can see, it's sticking up a little bit. If you can't get it to adjust just right to sit perfectly on the ground, then you can just uncheck your snapping box and then drag it down that way. And let's see what happens now. So, after 5 seconds, there we go. So, again, whenever you first start off, first load into the map, your starting point is going to be your respawn location. But by walking over the checkpoint, you've now saved that location. So if your player dies, then now your checkpoint will be your respawn location. Awesome. All right. Well, I hope you found this a little bit helpful, and we'll see you in the next video.